did require quite a lot of dialogue between the three parties, but I'm delighted to say that common sense prevailed. In particular, I was enormously keen on the $2 fare, as you know, and I think that has been the catalyst for the success of the routes.
It wouldn't be an understatement to say that this has completely changed the outlook of Queenstown. It's changed the social fabric.
Oh, it has. People talk about taking Orbus or the $2 bus, and it is really part of our fabric these days. Every time I see one that's full, I look at it and I think, well, there's probably 20 or 25 cars that aren't on the road, so it's fantastic.
That's a good point. Those 25 cars are queuing up in the mornings and evenings now in a way that seems to be to do with Queenstown's growth. Is there a risk that the traffic will get so bad that the buses can't do their magic?
Well, the trick there is to get more services, more people onto buses, less cars on the road, and that should be a big part of solving our current traffic problems. Part of me wants to put a sign out on the side of Ladies Miles saying, "Sick of being in the traffic, get in a bus." But, you know, look, we know the reality is we have to provide more services, make them more frequent. But I think we will get a large number of people who are still in cars onto buses.
But that may not be enough.
It may not be enough. I think it requires particularly NZTA to come up with some other solutions, but hey, this is a very big step in the right direction.
We're here today with the Deputy Chair of the Otago Regional Council. It's almost Christmas, so what's on your Christmas wish list from the ORC?
ORC have already given me a Christmas present by agreeing to additional services between Frankton and Lake Hayes Estate, shot over country. That's a first step. However, I'm hoping I get early Christmas presents next year by direct services from shot over country, Lake Hayes Estate, into town and back again, plus a direct service from Arrowtown into town via Milligan's Road.
And finally, these massive numbers, will they continue to grow?
Oh, look, you're not going to see a tripling of the numbers as we did when we first introduced it, but I'd be relatively confident we could see maybe another 50% growth if we put on the right services.
Coming together was actually quite a big thing initially, but yeah, the partnership between NZTA, QLDC and ORC has been working really well. We need to challenge each other, we need to look to the future, that's what it's about, and also working really collaboratively. What levers can we all pull? And I think this has been a really good illustration of what's possible when we do pull some and take a can-do attitude.
So fantastic results today that everybody is very pleased about.
Yeah.
But the need for improvements, it's against a background of the traffic in Queenstown getting worse quite quickly.
Yes.
I think Jim's recently mentioned that something like new car sales were up 15% on the previous year. So the pressure on ORC to change and improve the network increases, change the bus routes. Why does it take so long, or are you onto it? Are you moving already? Okay,
so yeah, we are planning for changes already, and I know Jim's mentioned some of those already. So extending the network, often with that we need to adjust the way the network is working just so that everything marries up. Sometimes it takes a bit longer than people anticipate, but look, we need to act quickly. Things move very rapidly in Queenstown, we're aware of that, and yeah, there is change on the horizon.
Because I think people have been quite patient. The Frankton bus hub probably makes sense on paper, but in real life there's some very nasty transfers from one bus to the next bus and a lot of social media interaction. What would you like to say to those people?
Yeah, it's a challenge, isn't it? There's some safety issues at the moment. Some of them are not easy to fix. Some of them we can fix and we can start working on straight away, but have patience, be careful actually, because there are some nasty crossings at the moment. We need people to be really conscious and careful, but overall though, I think there's massive improvements, and yeah, we can always improve, but this last year it's been a whirlwind of change, and I can see a lot more change yet on the horizon. Even over the next year we need to be making significant change, so yeah, please be patient, but please keep jumping on the buses. We need to see lift in patronage yet from where we're at. We need to get more cars off the road.
When you say safety issues, do you mean like literally people crossing the road, or are they?
Yes, there's some where people are crossing the road in an unsafe manner, and we realise that. And I think that's where partnership as well comes in with NZTA and QLDC and ORC to make sure that it is a bit safer.
The environment obviously is a big issue in Dunedin and in Queenstown.
Yep.
Some of the buses are quite big and yet they're running largely empty, and some of the big buses are full. Is there any plan to change the relative size of the buses and make the whole thing a bit more agile, a bit more eco-friendly?
Yeah, it's a good point. So it's up to the bus operator, I suppose, at the moment. But yeah, it's certainly something to think about as we contract into the future, what the nature of transport will look like, whether they need to be smaller, whether they need to be bigger. I think integrated ticketing is going to be really helpful for us with the tagging on, tagging off. We'll be able to track what various routes are actually doing, what the numbers of people moving on various routes are looking like, and we can look at size of vehicles from there. Yep.
And when will that system be introduced? Because that means people can top up the
Yes.
credit online as well. So
Yes.
that's running a bit late at the moment.
Running a little bit late. It's reliant on 9 regions being implemented. So we're hopeful that in the first quarter of next year, integrated ticketing will be a happening thing.